Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, as-salatu was-salamu ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qala Allahu tabarak wa ta'ala fil Qur'anil Majid wal Furqanil Hamid. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. ومن يطع الرسول فقد أطاع الله سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. But respected brothers, elders and sisters, one of the outstanding qualities of the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet of Allah, it was that they followed the Prophet of Allah in the minutest detail. Whatever they saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam do, they would comply to that. They would not ask any questions, nor would they start thinking to themselves, what is the logic behind this? Many a times what stops us, it is our intellect. The intellect stops us. But as far as the Sahaba were concerned, their nafs and their intellect, they were united in the obedience of the Prophet of Allah. There's two things here. One is the nafs, person's desire, and one is intellect. Usually what happens is the nafs that turns against the intellect, the nafs. The nafs has more power. If a person is weak, the nafs takes over the body instead of the intellect. And I'll give you an example. Everybody knows that as a Muslim we have to pray 5 times a day. As far as our intellect is concerned, we know the benefits and we know the harms. But sometimes we see that as far as praying is concerned, we are a bit weak. We don't comply 5 times a day. Hence we have got knowledge. So why is it that we are not praying? And you can give thousands of examples on the same pattern. The reason is the nafs has taken over, not the intellect. Once Malik bin Dinar, he was passing by some children, and there was a small child playing with some dust. As he was playing, he would cry for a little, he would cry, you can say for a few seconds, stop, and then start to laugh. So he would cry and laugh. So Malik bin Dinar, he said, I should do salam to this child. This was his intellect. And his nafs was saying, I shouldn't give salam. He's only a young boy. If anyone has to give salam, it should be this young boy, he should give me salam. Or I shouldn't give salam at all, no problem. But then his intellect was telling him that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would give salam to everybody, small or big, young or old, no problem. He would give salam to everybody. He would give salam to children as well. So his intellect was telling him this, but his nafs was saying, you shouldn't give salam. You are older than him. As far as age is concerned, and as far as knowledge is concerned, and as far as wisdom is concerned, you're greater than him. But the akal was saying, no, you should give salam, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to give salam to children. This is his sunnah. We understand one masala from this. We should not expect the youth or the youngsters to give salam to the elders. The Prophet ﷺ would give salam himself. He would initiate this process. He would not wait. We are waiting for the youngsters to give us salam. The Prophet would initiate salam. And at the end of the day, whoever initiates salam, be it from the elder side or the youth side, this creates love. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to create harmony and love amongst yourself, ufshu salam, spread salam. Whoever you know and whoever you don't know. Today, mashallah, Our state is such that who we don't know, we don't give salam at all. And if we are in the marketplace, we don't give salam, we try to avoid. What will Tom, Dick and Harry say if I give salam to this person? We try to avoid. Isko nahi salam karna. We should spread salam, ufshu salam. The Prophet ﷺ said, there is no other nuskha, prescription to spread love in society and to create a harmonious society but to spread salam. Because when you are spreading salam, you are inviting the mercy and the rahmah of Allah Rabbul Izzat. You are inviting the mercy of Allah, the rahmah of Allah. You're saying assalamu alaikum. And at the same time that person is replying, he is inviting Allah's mercy and salam upon you. You are inviting it upon him and he's inviting it upon you. So if everyone starts inviting and attracting the mercy, this will create a harmonious society, a peaceful society, a society where everybody loves each other. Today is the need of the time. So Malik bin Dinar, eventually his akal says you have to give salam. So he gives salam to this child. And then when he says assalamu alaikum, the child says assalamu alaikum ya Malik bin Dinar. He says assalamu alaikum Malik bin Dinar. This shocked Malik bin Dinar that, how did you know my name? We have never met before. It's the first time I am meeting you. How do you know my name? He said, in the world of spirits we have met. In Alam Alast, the world of spirits. You were there, I was there as well. Whoever you marry in this dunya, your wife, you meet in the world of spirits. Whoever we meet in this dunya, we have met in the world of spirits. It's a different matter that we forget, we don't realize. But there are some people who till today still remember the covenant that took place between Allah and Bani Adam and humanity. When Allah questioned, who is your Rabb? Who is your Lord? And everyone in one voice said, oh Allah, you are our Rabb. Hassan Basri, he said, I can recall saying, oh Allah, you are my Rabb. I can recall it till today. The cleaner this heart is, the cleaner this heart is from darkness. Darkness is everything but Allah Rabbul Izzat. You will remember this time when Allah enlightens the heart. Sayyid Nafisul Hussaini passed away a couple of years ago in Pakistan, Lahore. A great scholar, a great alim. He says, I can recall that time. It rings in my ear. I know when I said, oh Allah, you are my Rabb. Because at the end of the day, this was an event that took place in our life, and it took place in everybody's life. Then why can't we recall it? It's a question, why can't we recall it? We can't recall it because the dunya has got the better of us. The environment has got the better of us. The nafs is leading us. That's the reason we cannot recall this. But at the end of the day, this is an event that took place. So the young child, he says to Malik bin Dinar, that in the world of spirits, Allah made me familiar with you and made you familiar with me. That's why I know your name. He said, all right. He goes, what is greater, the nafs or akal? The nafs, the inner self, or the intellect? What is superior? He said, the intellect. Because your nafs was stopping you from giving me salam. And it is your intellect that pushed you to give me salam. Your intellect. That's why Shariat, the basis, the foundation of Shariat started with which verse of the glorious Quran? Iqra bikit, Iqra bismi. Read. Study. This is one of the phenomena of Allah Rabbul Izzat, the pen. Read. Today we are far from this. And what reading am I talking about? Abdullah ibn Abi Nahiq radiyallahu an, he says that Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas met him in the bazaar, in the market. This is in Musnatul Humaydi. He met him in the market. And he said, what is wrong with you businessmen? That you want too much wealth. Your desire for more, your desire for wealth, it is pushing you. You businessmen are started to earn too much. And he kept on saying this, you businessmen have started to earn too much. And then he said, the Prophet ﷺ has said, that person is not amongst us who the Quran does not make rich. The Quran, the greatest bounty in this dunya, if this cannot make you rich, then you are not amongst us. Yeah, the question is, how much time do we give to the Quran? To study it, to read it, to study it, to inculcate it, to spread it, to think about it. How much time are we given? How does our day start off in the morning? What do we do? What is the first thing we do in the morning? Is it we check Facebook or Twitter, or is it I read Surah Yasin? How does my day start? That will determine our ta'alluq and relation with the Quran. Do I allocate half an hour to 1 hour every day for the Quran, where I'm reading the Quran? Allah Rabbul Izzah says, the Quran has come from me, it is from me. Kharaja min, it has come out of me, the Quran. Tabarrak bil Quran. If you want barakat, blessing, peace in your life, then hold firm to the Quran. How much dhikr am I doing in the morning? Isn't it zulm that we read everything? We go through our mail, we read the paper, we turn the TV on to watch Today, the morning show, Koshi, to watch him. But we won't spend 15-20 minutes to read the Quran. 15-20. Every day. You will see the effect of the Quran. It will make you rich. This is a quality of the Quran. Allah is rich. Ghaniyun anil alameen. He is rich from everything. If you hold firm to his Inna Allah khalaqa Adama ala khalqihi ay sifatihi. Allah has created us on his image. Allah has created us in his image. Image means sifatihi, his attributes and his qualities. Allah is rich. We hold firm to the Quran will make us rich. Are we rich today? From the heart. Richness of the heart is we don't want more. Whatever Allah has given, I am content, alhamdulillah. It is more than enough. I don't deserve what Allah has given me. As far as materialistic bounties are concerned, the Prophet ﷺ said, look at those that are below you. And as far as spiritual bounties are concerned, make shukr and look at those that are above you. So you don't become reluctant. You don't become complacent. In the matters of dunya, we're looking above. In the matters of deen, we're looking below. So if we're praying 2 times a day, we're looking at that person who's not praying at all. In the matters of dunya, if I'm earning 5,000, I'm looking at that person who's earning 10,000. It's the opposite. We've changed the shift, the power. This is a balance, a scale. These are 2 pans, we've changed them. Now the meaning of this hadith, it is not that once you study the Quran, you read the Quran and you don't do business. You leave everything. Because no one was more successful than the Sahaba in business. They were some of the best businessmen of their time. Not of their time, they were the best. Because you can only be a good businessman when you are dealing with people. You are attentive that Allah is watching you. You are conscious that Allah is watching you. I cannot cheat this person. The Sahaba were amongst the best businessmen. Hazrat Usman ibn Affan, Abdurrahman ibn Auf, radiyallahu an. That's why Sayyidina Imam Ghazali in his Ahya, he mentions that the Sahaba were those that used to do business on the land and on the sea. So what is the meaning of this hadith? This hadith is refuting those people that cannot differentiate between necessity and goal. Necessity and goal. Business is a necessity for livelihood. It should not be our goal. And in this process, we should not forget our deen. We should not forget our Rabb. We should not forget our Habib Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the process. Our goal is to please Allah, to survive, to maintain ourselves, to sustain our family. It's a necessity in this dunya. So if we do business, we should not engulf in business so much, engulf ourselves in business so much where we forget all our responsibilities, all those responsibilities which Allah has put on our shoulders. So this hadith is not against nafs business, the nature of business. It's against making business your goal. We have to differentiate. Our goal, it is to please Allah Rabbul Izzat. And necessity, it is to survive on this dunya. And to survive on this dunya, you need food, you need clothes, you need roof over your head. These are necessities. If you make these necessities and Allah your goal, there is no reason why Allah Rabbul Izzat will not return those days of glory, those days of dignity and honor, where the Sahaba Kiram, when they used to raise their hands, their du'as, their supplications would be accepted. Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiyallahu an, it is reported Abu Salma bin Ubaidullah bin Umar radiyallahu an, Abu Salma, the grandson of Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiyallahu an, he reports from his grandfather that he asked for a razor. So Abu Salma brings the razor and he says, I'm going to put my hand, he says, pull my kameez, pull my shirt, pull the arms of my shirt, and then place your hands on my hands, and whatever exceeds, cut with the razor. So Abu Salma, he says, Ubaidullah, the son of Sayyidina Umar, he complied. He cut. And when he cut, now you can imagine it was not level. It was a razor. Ubaidullah said, if you wanted, you could have requested me to bring a pair of scissors. I could have cut your shirt, the arms of your shirt with a pair of scissors. He goes, no, I've seen the Prophet do this. I saw the Prophet cut his shirt with a pair of razors. That's why I asked you to bring a razors and not a pair of scissors. And Ubaidullah said you could see that the threads would be hanging. Whenever he would wear that shirt, the threads would be hanging and falling on his feet. He was not worried. Today we are worried too much about our looks. How do I look presentable to the people? We're not worried how we are in the eyes of Allah. Allah looks at the heart. Inna Allah la yanduru ila amwalikum wa suwarikum walakin yanduru ila qulubikum. Allah does not look at how much wealth you possess or how beautiful you are, because both of these things are not in your power. How we look, it is Allah created me like this. I cannot look better. And how much wealth you have got, you cannot have more than that, because Allah has decreed that before you even came in this dunya. But one thing that is in our power, it is our heart. The Sahaba asked the Prophet of Allah, what does Allah demand? What does Allah want from you? The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah wants your heart. This, Allah wants it. Today, what has got the better of us? We start thinking, then what about my family? What about my children? Who gave you this family? Who gave you these children? It is Allah. Who created you? Who placed you in this dunya? It is Allah. Everything turns back to Allah, goes back to Allah. So why not become Allah's? Why not surrender in front of Allah? If Allah wants, He can take my wife. If Allah wants, He can take my children. If Allah wants, He can take my wealth. He can take everything. If He gave these things to me, these entities, these bounties, He can take them back. We cannot question Allah Rabbul Izzat. So why not give this heart to Allah Rabbul Izzat? Allah demands a sound heart. Sayyidina Usman Ghani radiyallahu anhu, I'll finish on this. He went to perform Hajj, and he was in Muzdalifah. It was the time of Fajr, and the sun was rising. It was getting quite light. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said to Sayyidina Usman, if you get up now and start traveling to Mina, this is according to the Sunnah. He instantly got up. The person transmitting and narrating this incident, he said, I could not differentiate who was quicker. Was it the words of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud or was it Hazrat Usman Ghani? You cannot imagine the speed. As soon as it is according to the Sunnah, He jumped up on his feet. He said, I cannot differentiate. Did the words come out first, or did Sayyidina Usman initiate his journey first? I cannot differentiate. This is how much the Sahaba adhered to the Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah. My dear respected brother, I've said this many a times. Like you cannot separate sweetness from honey, you cannot separate success from abiding to the Sunnah. There is no other means of success. Our success depends as a Muslim. If you're not a Muslim, then the criteria is different. The criteria is different in Sharia for success. But if you're a Muslim, our success depends on two things: the oneness of Allah and the obedience of the Prophet of Allah. Allah give you me the tawfiq to implement and practice. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.